I first started playing Minecraft over a decade ago, and during that time, I've definitely learned to become a much better builder. So today, I want to showcase some of my build ideas that you can use in your Minecraft worlds. And to do that, I want to fly around my creative test world first, and then go into my 2400 day Minecraft article world to showcase some other build ideas. Now, the first bit of advice I'd give is actually just starting a creative flat world for you to do all your builds in. For example, this is one I started almost 3 years ago. It's got the original design for my hardcore starter house, which is still in the world. And over time, I've just expanded this world even more. As you can see here, some of my original custom tree designs, which is idea number 1. Do custom trees in your world, as, to be honest, the default Minecraft trees sometimes look alright, like a spruce tree, that looks good. However, the oak and birch ones look slightly boring, which is why I definitely recommend building some custom trees. All you really need to do is build up with fences and connect some leaves around them to make simple looking trees. However, in big groups they actually end up looking really nice. Also, on a side note here, this one here made with like pink wool and concrete powder and things was before cherry leaves were added to Minecraft, and now they feel like they've been in the game for ages. My next build idea is also around this cherry tree here, which is using azalea saplings as floor designs, because honestly they look very similar to moss blocks. So if we can make a little area here, place some moss blocks in, and then if you occasionally mix in some azalea leaves, even just some regular ones or some flowering ones, it really helps just to add more detail, as it sort of looks like extra texture variation for these moss blocks. And these flowering azaleas would work really well in like a custom forest or like a flower forest area, as they do look like petals on the ground. Although I guess now we do have pink petals as well, but honestly adding pink petals to this makes it look even better. Here's just a simple boat design I made ages ago. Literally just uses a few spruce trapdoors, some slabs and some stairs, a barrel, fences and banners. The banners actually look really good to make it look like the sails of a ship. And honestly, it's a very simple design. We could probably rebuild it quickly if I just grab all the materials. So I believe all we need to do is place in some trapdoors. Then I guess we can fold the trapdoors like this. Add an upside down stair like this. Add one here as well. Add the trapdoors on the other side. Then we can replace this block with a barrel. And then we go up a few blocks, placing in some fences. And then we just add in the banners. And honestly, it's a really simple boat design, but it definitely works, especially early game if you have like some sort of fishing area. Here's actually another really cool custom tree design. This is simply just using the existing acacia trees in Minecraft. You could even do this by just bone mealing one, and then replacing all the logs with oak logs, and then adding in occasional fences or stairs to make this really cool looking custom oak tree. You could even change up the leaves a little bit, but honestly I think these look really cool, and I should probably build it at some point in my hardcore world. Here's another sort of build idea, which is honestly just adding mobs into your world. Like, here's a horse stable, and I've added in some mules and horses, and it just gives it extra sort of life. As if these mobs didn't exist here, it would just look a bit boring, so definitely add some mobs, like, especially if you're doing a stable or something like that. Just add a couple of horses in, even if you never really use them. It definitely helps to add more ambience. And as I'm looking in the stable, here's some other cool designs. You could use some hanging roots or some dripstone, just to add more variation into the roof. Add a water trough into the corner. This works especially well in stables or barns, as the mobs will need something to drink. You can also do a food tray here. And then I also occasionally add in tripwire hooks, as if you were sort of hanging up a tool or something. Then you could even just use item frames to hang things like an iron hoe or a saddle. Another build idea is simply just adding barrels and like crafting tables, note blocks, that sort of thing, just scattered throughout your Minecraft world, especially in bigger areas like a castle or an industrial area, as that way you can use it for extra storage. But honestly, it's very useful as it is extra storage, and it also just helps to make your world look a bit more complete. If some areas of your Minecraft builds look slightly boring, consider adding this in. All you need to do is get a couple of jungle trapdoors, a terracotta block, flower pot, maybe a cactus or something, and an azalea leaf, just to make this really cool bonsai tree design, as it really just helps to add more sort of nature into builds. And honestly, I think it looks really nice. Another idea is actually hiding some water under a block and placing a block of sugarcane next to it, as the only way to place sugarcane is next to water, but if the water's covered up, you can still place in sugarcane, and it honestly just helps because it looks a bit like a sort of extra variant of grass. And you can even stack it up a couple blocks as well, just to sort of make it look a bit more like nature's taking over your Minecraft builds. Another idea, which honestly I use all the time, is just adding fences to walls, as it looks like a ladder design. Maybe in this castle, for example, they had to use a ladder to get on to fix this bit of a roof or something, I don't know. But ladders don't necessarily have to lead somewhere. it just adds detail. And honestly, I really like it's such a simple design, just fences connected to a wall, but honestly, it helps add more detail into this area right here. And I guess if you've got somewhat of a bigger build like this castle here, you could even add in secret entrances and alleyways, I guess. I don't know what I'd add here, but I guess in the survival world, you could add sort of a villager back here. Just this way, you sort of add more details into your world, which maybe you wouldn't notice straight away, or like if you invited other people, they may not notice, but there's always like some secrets in your world, which are quite fun to have. Another simple builder idea in this area is a well, which I build all the time as well. Simply using 4 stairs, adding some water, fences, some more stairs. As honestly, it's a great source of infinite water, as you always need water in your Minecraft world. So definitely build these all over it. As honestly, they do look like good designs as well. You could even shorten the fences by a block to make a smaller well design. Now if I head on into this kitchen area, here's some more build ideas. For example, using blocks of coral as sort of a fruit or berry. And obviously to do this, you just need to place a block of water underneath so it doesn't die. But honestly, all blocks of coral work really well for this, as they do just look like some sort of berries or maybe like a jam or something that you're using in your cooking area. You could also use different saplings in plant pots, as maybe they are just small trees, or you could even do it as like different foods. Like that looks a bit like a bit of broccoli. You sort of have to use your imagination a bit. You could also add sea pickles for more decoration. And if you decorate with cauldrons and water a lot in your world, all you need to do is just use a glass bottle and you can take away a level. Just add a slight bit more detail to the cauldron, as if maybe all the water is starting to drain away or it's not completely full yet. You may notice throughout this video, I mainly focus on sort of medieval build ideas, and that's just because that's the style I love building in within Minecraft. You could do this really cool bookshelf design as well, using some sideways looms as just an extra sort of bookshelf texture. This was actually built in before chiseled bookshelves existed, as we now have these in the game which work as well. But honestly, you could use the chiseled bookshelves and the loom side by side for just extra variation. Another cool design is using some spruce trapdoors and spruce doors. Spruce works best as you can't see through it, just to make a cool like food rack using some campfires and drying them out with your shovel. You could just place some different foods on, like I've got some meats and potatoes in this cupboard. And I think that just helps to add a bit more detail, especially as this is sort of like a kitchen / storage area, I guess. And here's another cool thing up here. I've just made like this attic and filled it full of loads of things like barrels and note blocks and chests and things, and a creeper head in the corner, because honestly, it's a great way to have a heart attack every time you walk up the stairs if you think there's a creeper in your storage room. Another cool design would be to use regular dark oak saplings as decoration, as if you place one by itself, and even if you get all the bone meal in the world, you won't be able to grow a tree at all. This is just a vanilla tweak resource pack that changes the level of it. But it's a great way to add more detail as well, as it simply looks like an extra sort of shrub texture. You've got like the grass, ferns, you could use dark oak saplings, and I guess in the next Minecraft update you'll be able to use bushes as well. Here are some cool wall ideas you could add into your Minecraft worlds. Like this one is just a very simple stone variated wall. We've got some stone, andesite, tough, cobblestone and stone bricks. This one here is really cool. It just uses mainly brick with some granite mixed in. And then I've also added patches of dripstone going down it, as well as sort of these big sort of patches of dirt and rooted dirt. I think this looks really good, as if we get far away as well, the textures all sort of blend in, and if anything, it just looks sort of like a dirty wall, which, especially if you've got sort of an older build, is a really great decoration to have. As well as this wall here, which is just a simple stone one, then I've added patches of moss and like acacia logs going down, basalt, as if the wall's just been really stained. Like I've got this one in my hardcore world around my industrial district, and it's right next to the ocean, so it sort of makes you think like the ocean's damaged it over time. But honestly, it's just an extra really cool decoration to add into your world. Maybe not on this scale though. I'll admit, it's very big in my hardcore world, and like, honestly, I wish I could change it, but maybe something of a smaller scale, it would look really cool. Like even on a scale like this in one of these houses, like just mixing in tough and mossy cobblestone just helps add even more texture and just makes your build look a load better. Oh, there's some cool pink petals laid out. What do they say? Subscribe? Oh yeah, make sure to subscribe, as I want to see how many subscribers I can be on by the end of the year. Here's a cool design as well. All you need is some bamboo trapdoors, and then add flower pots and decorated pots on top, as if you've made some like pots, and you can place it outside as well, as if they're drying or something, especially outside of something like a brick factory. You could also do some carts if you do build factories, like for example just carrying things in, like this clay here. Here's a really cool gear design. You could actually improve it now with chiseled copper in the middle and even copper trapdoors, but this was before copper trapdoors and things existed. It's a very simple design though, you just need some fences and stairs. But honestly it looks really good, especially on the side of a more industrial style building. I think that looks really nice. Another build idea, especially on sort of bigger scale builds, is to add in just wall block. Like this andesite and cobblestone walls right here, just helps to add sort of an indent into this wall. Maybe it's a bit damaged because this building's existed a while. Just sort of helps to add a bit more detail and texture to your builds. More on the industrial design ideas as well. You could add these basalt pipes going into your build. Maybe they're supplying water or electric, I don't know. You could even attach lightning rods to it as well, as if it's fueling the inside. Obviously these walls are really thin so they don't do anything, they just help to add a bit more detail. And to be honest, I'm sure I have a load more build ideas throughout this creative flat world, but I could save those for other videos, as now I want to take a quick fly through my Minecraft hardcore world to showcase some more build ideas. But before that, have you liked the video and have you subscribed? Make sure you do. Okay, let's go into the hardcore world. And here we are in my 2.5-year-old Minecraft hardcore world with over 550 hours in-game time played. And here's the first build idea, simply just adding in sort of old buildings in your world. For example, here I've got like this burnt down house, sort of just overlooking loads of different fields and a custom forest over there. As otherwise this area would sort of be blank, like this area is here, but don't worry, I have ideas. But this is just a very simple design, just to help add more detail into the area. You just bone meal around it as well, fill it full of grass and like even add some slabs into the ground as if the sort of roof is caved in on itself. Adding like some sweet berries around. You could even add things like leaves around it to make it look really abandoned, as if no one really goes near it anymore. Similarly, if you have builds that you don't really use anymore, like I've got this barn design, just like start breaking holes in the roof, adding in moss and things, and then just adding vines all over it to make it look really old. And also, as this build has used loads of red terracotta, I've started adding in some stripped mangrove, as if it's sort of decaying a little bit. I mean, you can sort of also see how abandoned it is on the inside, with just bamboo growing up, all the sort of woods collapsed. And actually, originally, I didn't break all of this. I believe it got struck by lightning and started burning down, but that's how it's so damaged originally. And I just decided to embrace it and just ruin it some more. As I did build this barn like 2 years ago, but to be honest, never really did anything with it, so it sort of just doesn't serve a purpose. So I just destroyed it. Another build idea I definitely recommend doing is just using crops throughout your world to add in more detail. Like I've just got wheat around here, sort of add in sort of more of a grassy or overgrown area sort of field like I've got over here. It's just full of different crops like potatoes and carrots and wheat and even like these warped roots and things. As this is sort of just an overgrown area of my hardcore world, we've got a couple ruins built in around here. But adding in things like crops just really helps add in more detail. Especially if you use a resource pack like I do to make wheat even taller. And then just along this path I've got loads of extra carrots because, hey, you can never have too many crops in the Minecraft world. If we use Zera's map mod, you can see how many crop fields I have in my world. I don't harvest any of these. These are just purely for decoration. Now, if you have a mob farm in your Minecraft world and have to AFK up high, like I've got a creeper farm down there, build it just a hot air balloon or something to stand in. Like right on top of mine, I've just got a block of snow. We can crouch and just go on the scaffolding to AFK at the creeper farm I never use. But it's a cool idea for your world, and to be honest, maybe I'll add some more hot air balloons around my world eventually, as it looks a bit lonely in the sky by itself, as it is the sort of technically the tallest, but it's the highest up building in my hardcore world at least. One idea you could do with your crop fields as well is to add in big water streams going all the way down. For example, I've got some coming from this carrot and this wheat field, and they go all the way down and lead to this potato field all the way down here. There we go though, day 2448. And here's actually the starter base I showcased at the beginning of the video in my creative test world, now in my hardcore world. Obviously, as it's such an old build now, I have started adding things like vines, just to add more age to it. One of my favourite ways to add detail into my Minecraft world is just by customizing the river area. For example, adding in leaves all the way around the outside of it, mixing in things like sugarcane and peonies as well, and then using a load of textures such as coarse dirt, mud, and muddy mangrove roots to just add in even more detail. Then you can sort of move into sort of dirt and rooted dirt until you get to sort of the grassier areas. And in spaces where you don't really plan on building much, just add in a cluster of trees. Like I've got this custom tree area here, just using a few simple designs. I've got some custom birch trees, some custom oak, azalea, and cherry trees, because honestly I didn't really need this area for anything else, so I just added in some custom trees. Also, if you just add in builds in your Minecraft world which are more significant, make sure to signpost them. For example, when I moved house, I built this field on the first day that I did so, and then I've just marked it out with a sign, so I always remember this was the first field I built when I moved house. Or this field right here was the first one I built in 2025. Or this potato field here, which actually isn't signed because it's not really important at all. It's just a potato field. You could build your player head out of every single Minecraft block, except miss half the blocks, which I completely forgot about. And to be honest, this is such an ugly build compared to everything else in my article world. So at some point, I do plan on moving it. Although it's been here for such a long time, I don't really want to anymore. And if you have one specific Minecraft mob that you want to collect, for example, I wanted to collect the best llama inside of this Minecraft world, build a whole area dedicated to it. For example, I've got a load of different llama pens around here, loads of wheat fields for crafting all the hay bales, and don't worry, I did manage to obtain the rarest llama in Minecraft, called Harrydallama. He's got the max amount of chest spots possible, and as I've said a million times, I'm never going to use it, but hey, it was fun to collect. You were definitely worth it, weren't you, Larry? One other build idea I definitely recommend doing is if you have a certain build area, just sort of add in one type of flower. For example, this llama village around here only uses oxeye daisies, but it just helps add more detail, as honestly I don't really want just like a couple red flowers and a couple blue flowers. I'd rather just have one sort of simple type of flower around an area. For example, in my forest areas I use just poppies. Even if we head to sort of my more detailed custom forest, you'll notice I just use poppies, as it's the only flower that I really want populating my forest areas. And if we head into the plains at any point, the only flower you'll see around is dandelions. But anyway, if you had any build ideas of your own, let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to subscribe. And if this video does do well, I'll definitely consider doing some more build ideas videos in the future. As I said right at the beginning, I've been playing Minecraft for over a decade now. I've got loads of different build ideas. So if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, let me know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more.